It's Jitta on the track. You were rocking with Alienz only. Why am I not famous?
Ay, came to New York for the scully. Came to New York for the work. Ay, niggas forgetting they worth. Quit all the tripping, they lurking. Ay, how the fuck you got it?
Where you from?
Florida and Connecticut raised me. East Coast is dope. Growing up north and then growing up down south at the same time between Florida and Connecticut kind of like let me know like different styles. When I grew up down south, I was listening like, you know what I'm saying, Nas, Biggie, a D Block, like, you know, my cats from, you know, up north, and I was introducing them to like my homies down south. I was listening to like Trick Daddy, Jeezy, and this and that and shit like that. So like, you know, I was just learning like just the different and how people adapt the sounds and shit.
What do you do?
I'm just a creator. I'm an artist. I paint. I do digital work. I produce. I write. I'm an artist in my own rights. I just do it all. I like to experiment with like anything I can get my hands on. This is my little workshop here. This is like the scraps I got left over, but I like to paint, man. I just picked it up. I moved out to LA about 2 years ago. I got bored one day, picked up a paintbrush and said, fuck it, and did my first painting. That was my first painting right there.
Nice.
Alright, you see that?
Yeah, that's far as fuck for your first painting,
okay.
Bro. Not even gonna lie. What is
and
that?
then that's a deer over
really
some actress's face I got from a thrift store in like the Valley for like 99 cents. And I just painted over her face and put a deer head. Creative, huh? Yeah. Thought that shit was hard.
You just got bored one day, you started doing the painting shit. Do it like a lot of where you take you and incorporate it into a lot of cartoons and shit like that. How you get into that? Explain a little bit more about that.
One, I'm ugly as fuck, so like I always wanted to be a cartoon. By the way, welcome to North Hollywood. It's the Arts District. In the Arts District, we have a whole bunch of artists that live out here that actually animate for pop and TV shows that you guys probably watch. So we got Bento Box, a company out here that does a whole bunch of animations. They do Bob's Burgers. They got a couple of shows on Adult Swim and Comedy Central. I mean, there's like a whole bunch of people out here. BoJack Horseman, like writers are out here and stuff like that. So just being around everybody out here was like, all right, I want to kind of like figure out how to do this, but in my own world, like I'm way more plugged into the hip hop and way more plugged into the culture than these writers that sit behind desk and just like draw all day. So I wanted to jump into their world and bring some shit with me, you know what I'm saying?
Is there any artist in particular that inspired you or that inspires you now that you are into art? Or
a big inspiration behind my art creations is just American styled animation cartoons all the way from the 90s all the way to now. Rick and Morty I've been watching a lot of. That's like the newest show that I've been like really like digesting. But this, I never was into, I loved like Dragon Ball Z and the anime and all that stuff when I was young, just the aesthetic of it, but watching it, I never was really into it. I was more into like the Hey Arnolds and Nickelodeons and shit like that. So that definitely is like the inspiration right there.
can we get your top 3 TV shows, cartoons, animes, whatever it is for you? Can we get your top 3?
Damn, bro, you can't. I don't
have
even.
to.
I can do my
Or
top
to
3 in my head.
Or to make it even more interesting, give us top 3 shows you would recommend for somebody to watch. Because I haven't even watched Rick and Morty, bro. I'm so asleep on Rick and Morty.
Yeah. Rick and Morty, watch it, but watch the first 3 episodes before you watch anything, so you can understand like the characters, because those are like the most important parts of that TV show. Watch, what's that new one on Netflix? I think it's called Big Mouthful. That shit's wild. They went crazy with that shit. The whole concept behind it's wild. And then I would say the last cartoon to watch would be Bob's Burgers, just because they fuck with me and I fuck with them, and they really just inspired me and got me into this whole thing. So that's last and first.
So we talked a little bit about your art. Let's go a little bit more into the music. What got you into making music, and how long have you been making music?
I've been making music since I was legit, literally since middle school. What got me into music was honestly just seeing it around me. My uncle was a musician, so I saw how he worked. He brought me to studio sessions when I was young.
Okay.
My homie was just beating on the lunch tables, doing the whole thing, freestyling, so I jumped in the mix, and like, you know, from there I just like, shit, let's get Fruity Loops. Got Fruity Loops on an old ass Windows 95 computer, barely booted up, started making beats, started recording myself, started figuring out how to like just create, you know, so just the whole art of learning got me into music. In high school I moved to Connecticut started putting music out on the internet. That was basically Connecticut was my my playground where I learned and developed myself as an artist. Then once I got good enough, started doing enough tours and like, you know, figuring out this whole music shit, I decided, okay, let's take a trip to LA. Came out to LA, saw the play, and immediately moved out here, and now I'm just, you know, I'm living out here. Just, I'm part of LA. I got into making beats because back in middle school, my homie had a skate video and he needed like some production, like audio in the background. So I've downloaded Fruity Loops. I sampled his skateboarding, like little like, you know, grinds and sounds that he did, and like made a beat like those old like Nike or Adidas commercials. What were they with? Nike or Adidas? And it would be like a basketball playing, making like a beat noise. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
No, I remember that shit off Scary Movie.
Yeah, like off that Scary Movie.
That's
yeah,
the best example we're gonna get of people.
Yeah. Basically,
the millennials. They
tried doing some shit like that. From there, I just got into just certain styles. I picked up J Dilla. Picked up a Donuts cassette tape. Listened to it, digested it, fell in love with J Dilla. Fell in love with that whole sound. Then I started to fall in love with how he sampled and where the samples came from. Then I fell in love with like the composers and conductors behind like 8-bit and like NES and old video games, using just like the simple synth and making a whole thing out of it.
Okay, what producers inspire you now?
Everybody that's young that's getting it, that just like, you know, went to their Pirate Bay or fucking wherever they wanted to go, downloaded, you know, their shit legally and started pumping out beats, gave it to their homie, his homie started rapping, they started fucking blowing up together. So anybody who's just fucking literally starting out, literally. Like,
right,
those are my favorite producers. I love working with Bobby Johnson. Because this guy right here put me onto him, you know what I'm saying?
Salute.
In this whole entire network put me onto him, you know what I'm saying? My homies from the East Coast, they just moved out here, breakfast in Vegas. I just kind of keep it like in-house, and I do a lot of my production myself, you know what I'm saying? But I'm always down to work with people, like, so if y'all want to reach out and just holler at me, just, you know, hit me. It is challenging wearing a lot of hats and doing a lot of different things, but it's called workflow. You gotta look at it as one entity, and then if you look at it as one entity, it's the same thing as a rapper looking at it as just wanting to be the best rapper in the world, or a painter looking at it as wanting to be the best painter in the world. I just want to be the best creator in the world. I want to be able to have all my outlets, everything that I do and create, look like it's one thing. I want my art to look like my music to look like my art. I want me to look like my art. I want me to look like my music. You know what I'm saying? When it's all together in one entity, it just makes sense, and I just work hard on every single thing. Once you get like your workflow done and you figure out how you need to approach things and you do it strategically, then you can get anything done, and you can work really fast. You work on the go. You never work from home. You know, just do a whole bunch of shit.
What do you think has been the biggest challenge for you being an artist or a creative so far?
Picking and choosing who I work with, because I don't know who's out here doing it for like the lifestyle and the moments, or who's actually out here doing it because they're challenging themselves and they're really a fucking artist, not just some dude that wants to look cool. That's the hardest thing. It's so hard.
People need to hear that.
It's so hard out here, man. LA, tighten up. It's so fucking hard.
What would you tell anybody from back home, Connecticut, Florida, like the difference between moving out here? Like,
I like to explain it as like, you know, back in high school when you had the homies that play sports that were dope, or if you play sports and were dope, your ass got shipped in the summer to some camp, and everybody around the world got shipped to that one camp. And y'all were working hard, and you got to see the illest people you ever see work on the field or whatever sport it is and whatever they do. And when you're around that, you get inspired from all that stuff. When you're amongst your hometown and like there's like not too much going on, there's a couple of dope people, but those dope people that you fuck with, you're with all the time anyways, like you need to branch out and find some more inspiration, find some more people to challenge you and make you want to jump up to the next level. So just being around creators and creatives and artists and rappers, singers, producers, everything you can think of, that are at the top of their level, because out here everybody really did a full life commitment and came out here, or have something going for them and came out here and really wanted to take it to the next level. Just being around people that are in that mindset is good for your mindset, instead of being around people that's just like working and climbing a wall but don't know what wall they're climbing. I used to be an ignorant little motherfucker like 4 years ago. I didn't know shit. Like straight up.
What changed for you? Was there any life events that happened?
I found myself. I definitely found myself. I found out why I wanted to do this shit, and it used to be lifestyle. I had fun, I did tours, I partied, I felt like I was a man at the club, I felt like I was a man in my city. Like I did all that shit, I did all that quote unquote rapper shit, chilling at the club getting bottles and shit. Yeah. But then I realized like, alright, that's cool, but like, what is that doing for myself? So I took a step back, I stopped doing music for 2 years, I moved out here, I really focused on just like what's important and finding like myself. And I basically started up again, and everything just functioned differently because I took a break and took a step back and try to humble myself and just be real. You know what I'm saying? Everything just comes out differently. The way I think, the way I approach a song, the way I approach everything, like that just really helped out. Started studying, reading books, just learning about, you know, manifestation and how to do it. And that's the reason why I definitely started doing art too. Because a lot of the shit I paint ends up happening, or I see something that just like, oh shit, that's why I painted that, because this shit's happening now. So I feel like I create my own world around me.
What do you feel is most important?
I think what's important is making an impact, not with your money, but with just your soul. That's what's very important. Changing the world with the God's gift He gave you. You know what I'm saying, and using it for the right ways. Your chain's not important. Your fucking new advanced deal's not important. Like, none of that shit's important. None of it. I worked like four months on trying to figure out what I need to do for my next video, and then once I got like, you know, 3 months in, I scrapped something I worked on and said, fuck it, I want to animate a video. So I was like, damn, what can I do? So I thought of this idea in my head, and I thought of the style. I kind of wanted this style like South Park meets Bob's Burgers meets Surreal, but not cartoon, but cartoon. And then I just sat down across the street from Bento Box where they make Bob's Burgers, listened to podcasts all day from all the animators, and just really, you know, sat there and sketched out this whole TV show, which I would make a music video for the pilot. So basically, I just dropped a couple weeks ago, if you're watching this, a dope video called Dr. Phil that I animated myself. It's my song featuring Mike Green, and it's a pilot for a TV show. We're moving around right now. We're trying to see if we can get some Adult Swim folks to fuck with me, some Bento Box folks to fuck with me. If you know somebody, holler at me. If you're an animator and want to help out, holler at me, because I like collaborating with people, and we're putting together a whole bunch of dope shit. But check out Dr. Phil. Hopefully the link's below in this video. Check out my brand, Lumberlife, lumberlife.co. Got some dope shirts, dope posters, prints, my art's on there. Check out my Spotify, I got dope music on there. Instagram at Jitta on the track, and pull up on me in North Hollywood, just holler at me.
You did.
You did. What's going on? This is Jitta, we were Aliens only, and why am I not famous?
You know, crazy, yeah.